You know what's weird about making $100,000 a year? From the outside, it sounds like the finish line, like the moment life is supposed to unclench a little. You imagine hitting six figures and finally breathing easier, finally feeling secure, finally becoming one of those people who doesn't look at restaurant prices before ordering the salmon. But then it happens, or you get close to it, and somehow you're still checking your account before paying rent, still doing mental math in the grocery store, still wondering why a salary that sounds rich on paper feels kind of ordinary in real life. And I think about this stuff way too much. My name is Threk, and I spend an unreasonable amount of time thinking about money, financial psychology, and why people can cross these big income milestones and still feel like they're living in a very expensive magic trick. Because that's the shocking truth here. A 100K salary can absolutely change your life, but it does not automatically make you rich. And once you understand why, you stop chasing income like it's the whole story and start paying attention to what actually creates wealth. Because income is loud, wealth is quiet, and those two things get confused all the time. A lot of people hear six figures and picture freedom, but what they're really picturing is gross income, not what actually lands in your life after taxes, insurance, rent, debt payments, and the 1,000 tiny leaks that money seems to slip through. It's like being handed a big bucket of water and then realizing the bucket already has holes in it. A 100K salary feels huge until it starts getting translated into monthly reality. Then it starts shrinking fast. Maybe you live in a high-cost city. Maybe your rent is painful, your commute is expensive, your groceries have somehow become a luxury experience, and your social life has a cover charge just for existing. Maybe you've got student loans, car payments, or a credit card balance from a couple years ago that still follows you around like an unpaid ghost. So yes, you make 100K, but if your fixed costs are high enough, you're not rich, you're just well paid and tightly packed. That's an important distinction. Because rich is not just about how much comes in, it's about how much stays, how much grows, and how much freedom your money creates. Two people can make the same salary and live in completely different financial universes. One person earns 100K, spends 95K, and feels constantly behind. Another earns 100K, spends 60K, invests the rest, and quietly builds a life with options. Same income, different reality. That's the part people don't love hearing, because it means salary alone doesn't rescue you. Let's talk about lifestyle inflation, which is really just a polite term for my paycheck got bigger and somehow my life got even more expensive. You get the raise, then upgrade the apartment, finance a nicer car, start ordering convenience instead of groceries, maybe travel a little more, maybe subscribe to 5 things you barely use because, you work hard and deserve nice things. And to be fair, you probably do. That's what makes this tricky. The financial decisions that keep people stuck are often completely understandable. They don't feel reckless, they feel normal. That's why they're powerful. A 100K salary often creates a dangerous illusion. It gives you enough money to look wealthy before you actually are. You can dress better, live in a nicer place, carry a shinier phone, take a decent vacation, maybe post little glimpses of a life that looks sorted out. But appearances are not assets. Looking rich is expensive. Being rich is usually a lot quieter and honestly kind of less photogenic. Rich looks like low debt. Rich looks like cash reserves. Rich looks like investments that keep growing while nobody claps. And that matters because a salary is active income. It depends on you continuing to work, perform, stay healthy, stay employed, and keep the whole machine running. Wealth is different. Wealth is what starts helping you back. It's the emergency fund that absorbs a crisis. It's the investments that compound in the background. It's the paid-off debt that stops draining your future. It's the gap between what you earn and what you need. That gap is everything. I always come back to that, not the headline number, the gap. If you make 100K and spend nearly all of it, you've built a very nice treadmill. A more comfortable treadmill, sure, maybe even one with cup holders, but still a treadmill. If you make 100K and protect a meaningful gap between income and spending, now you're building leverage, now you're buying breathing room, now you're becoming harder to knock over. So what should you actually do if you make good money but don't feel rich? First, stop using income as your identity. It's a metric, not a personality. Don't ask, how much do I make? Ask, how much do I keep? And how long could I function if my paycheck stopped? Those questions are much less glamorous and much more useful. Second, audit your fixed costs, not in a dramatic punish-yourself way, just honestly. Housing, transportation, debt, subscriptions, recurring spending. If too much of your salary is already spoken for before the month begins, that's why 6 figures doesn't feel like freedom. Your money is entering a crowded room. Third, build assets before you build appearances. Emergency fund, retirement contributions, index funds, debt reduction, automations that move money before your lifestyle can absorb it. Basically, make sure your future gets paid before your ego does. And honestly, I say that gently, because we all do this in some form. We all want our hard work to show. We want proof that we're progressing. But the real proof is not that your life looks more expensive, it's that your life becomes more stable. That's a different kind of flex, a better one. So no, a 100K salary does not automatically mean you're rich. It means you have potential. It means you have earning power. It means you may have a stronger starting point than a lot of people. But rich is not a salary number. Rich is margin. Rich is ownership. Rich is control. Rich is being able to handle life without every surprise turning into a financial emergency. And that should be encouraging, not discouraging. Because if income alone made people rich, then your future would depend on one number. But it doesn't. It depends on what you do with the number, how you structure your life around it, how much of it you protect, how much of it you turn into something that lasts. So if you've been making decent money and still feeling strangely behind, you're not crazy. You're just bumping into the difference between earning well and building wealth. And once you see that difference clearly, you can stop chasing the image of being rich and start building the reality of it.